22 years ago, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers defeated Rita and Lord Zedd, but then the team disbanded. In this first page we are not told if Rita and Lord Zedd died, we are only told that the Rangers defeated them, and that could mean several things. Despite this, we can see that they exploded part of the moon, and we all know that Rita and Lord Zedd's palace was there. After all this time, in the present, we see that the Rangers' command center is destroyed, and so is the moon. Inside the command center there is a Ranger, who apparently is having a battle with an enemy and prepares his blaster to attack. This Ranger is Jason, which we can notice that his suit is in bad shape and his helmet is also broken. Jason starts firing his blaster to begin his attack, but the enemy also attacks him, and we can see that the colors of the energy are yellow and pink. Jason is hit by that big energy, and we can quickly see the Ranger's new enemy. Because of the darkness, we can't see this character's face and we don't know anything about him or her. What we can see is that he or she is a very powerful character, as he or she has managed to defeat Jason and has taken away his power coin. Jason wants to know who this powerful villain is, and he responds by saying that it is the past coming to haunt him. Then, with Jason's coin in his hand, the villain also tells him, "I am the future." With these words we can deduce that this powerful villain could be a character from the past that perhaps the Rangers had already defeated previously and now comes to take revenge on them. This is why we cannot rule out the possibility that Rita and Lord Zedd are still alive. In Angel Grove there is a celebration for the inauguration of the youth center, which is going to be named after Trini Kwan in honor of her life. Billy is giving a few words to all the guests at this celebration, mentions that Trini was a United Nations Human Rights Commissioner, and that she was also the longest-serving mayor in Angel Grove. This is a very important fact as it gives us more information about Trini's life after she defeated Rita and Lord Zedd. This was an excellent way to honor the memory of the actress who played Trini, letting the character rest in peace and at the same time talking about the great things she was able to achieve in her life. In addition to honoring Tui Trang's memory in this story, they also gave a little space to the character Ernie, the owner of the juice bar, since the actor of this character also passed away. After Billy talked a lot of good things about Trini, he gave some space to Zach so that he could also talk about Trini. At this moment, something unexpected happens for all of us, and that is that all the people who were in that place already knew that Zach is a Power Ranger. Zach is very famous at this moment, and this is obviously because he is a Power Ranger. We can also notice that in this place is Kimberly, but apparently no one knows her, so we assume that no one knows that she was also a Power Ranger. She is remembering her friend and all those special moments they spent together. We must say that the illustrator of these images did an excellent job, as the characters look very much like the original actors and also all the places around. Kimberly takes the opportunity to go to the cemetery to bring flowers, and at that moment she meets Zach, who tells her that she left in the best part. Kimberly replies that the best part was when Billy made everyone cry, and she decided to leave when everyone started screaming for the famous Power Ranger. Apparently, Kimberly doesn't like everyone knowing that Zach is a Power Ranger, and he apologizes for getting all the attention. Zach also tells Kimberly that he would have liked her to say a few words as well, but she replies that she wants to keep a low profile. Despite this, Zach invites her to lunch at a very quiet place so they can keep a low profile, and Billy is also going to join them. Kimberly is still hesitant and says that she must get to the airport, but Zach manages to convince her. Even though Kimberly accepted the invitation, she asks Zach to call her by her new name, Emma Phillips, since she is not Kimberly Hart now. They both leave the place, and we find the terrible surprise that the grave was not Trini's, but Tommy Oliver's, who died in 2001. We can realize that in this story all the people who have also died in real life have passed away, and possibly this was done as a tribute to all of them, to let their characters rest in peace. At the restaurant, the three Rangers are enjoying a good conversation, and at the same time they let us know that Kimberly was away for a long time. Apparently, what happened in the past was so hard for Kimberly that she moved away from everyone, changed her name, and didn't even go back to see Trini before her passing. In this conversation the Rangers also revealed that Zack wrote a book talking about everything the Power Rangers did, but to protect the identity of the other team members, he said he was the only Ranger in Angel Grove. This starts a tremendous argument, as Zack would like to reveal to the world that Trini was a Power Ranger as well, so everyone knows that she saved the world multiple times. Kimberly doesn't want Zack to keep revealing those secrets, since if he changes the first version he had given in his book, then everyone will realize that the other Power Rangers are her friends from school. Zack thinks that revealing that secret wouldn't be so bad since it would help Billy with his company, plus Kimberly is living in Canada under a different name, so she has nothing to lose. These words make Kimberly very angry, as she feels she has nothing left and tells Zack that he can't make decisions that will affect others. Billy tries to defuse the situation by mentioning that something good came up when Zack revealed that he is a Power Ranger and that they created a clean energy hip-hop keto festival. Zack explains that this is an environmental charity event that is held once a year. They bring together a lot of artists to raise money, and it's all powered by clean energy. Billy also talks about his telecommunications company, which he created in order to raise money to finance his secret project. Billy used the data from Alpha 5's memory that he managed to save after the terrible event and has been using it to create a method of teleportation for all of humanity. The purpose of this is that they can teleport food to places in need, teleport people away from danger, or also to teleport diseases out of the human body. Billy had to use his power coin to access the grid to use that energy, but this makes Kimberly very angry since, 22 years ago they had all agreed not to be Power Rangers again. Billy and Zack explain to her that the agreement was not to transform, and they are just using the power coins to get the energy. After this, they confess to Kimberly that they invited her to lunch to talk to her about Jason, and that several years ago he was a fireman, but after a big fire in which many people died, he disappeared. Jason felt responsible for not having saved all those people because he knew he had the power in his hands to save them all and he wasn't using it. After a while, Billy noticed that someone was using the power of the grid besides him and Zack. Jason had transformed and started saving a lot of people. He then became obsessed to the point that he asked Billy and Zack to stop using the power coin so that he could be transformed permanently. Despite this, Billy realized that there was another person using the grid power, and because Trini had already passed away, Jason thought that Kimberly was using the power coin. Kimberly can't believe what she is hearing, but then Billy clarifies that they convinced Jason that it had to be someone else using the power, so they started looking for that someone else. Unfortunately, last week Jason disappeared, and at the same time Billy discovered that Jason and the other person who was using the grid power were no longer doing so. Kimberly is terrified by all this that is happening, but at the same time she doesn't understand why they need her, and Zack tells her that they should become Power Rangers one last time to find Jason. This proposal makes Kimberly very angry, but Zack and Billy tell her that they have kept the promise they made and have not turned into Power Rangers for over 20 years. On top of that, they are willing to break that promise in order to save Jason, but unfortunately, Kimberly is still adamant that she doesn't want to be a Ranger again. Billy tells her that they need her Zord so they can cover more ground flying to find Jason, but Kimberly turns them down. We can tell that there is someone watching the Rangers and apparently, they are not happy. Kimberly is in a cab on her way to the airport to return home to Canada and starts reading all the text messages she has received from a person we don't know. This person knows about Billy and Zach but has never been able to meet them and wants to meet them very much. Kimberly replies that someday she will be able to meet them. The next day, Kimberly is already at home looking at the photos she has of Trini in order to remember her, and at that moment someone knocks on the door. We still don't know who the person who was writing the text messages is, but apparently Kimberly thought it was the same person who was knocking on the door. To her surprise, the person at the door was Trini's niece, who looks exactly like her aunt and is looking for Kimberly, although Kim insists she is Emma Phillips. Trini's niece insists that she is not mistaken as she has a picture of Trini and Kimberly together. She then tells Kimberly that she wants her help in becoming the next Power Ranger. "22 years ago, Rita and Lord Zedd and their team were celebrating their victory over Zordon and Alpha 5. In this celebration you can see that they think that they have already finished with the power of the Rangers and that they will be able to dominate the world. They were preparing a powerful trap for the Rangers, and at that moment comes the opportunity they had long awaited. The Power Rangers arrived on the moon to avenge the death of Zordon and Alpha 5, but Rita and Lord Zedd were waiting for them. Rita and Lord Zedd had turned all their monsters into giant creatures, so the Power Rangers were at a disadvantage. To this we must add that there were many putty patrollers, and this made the mission even more difficult. Something important to mention in this scene is that there were only Jason, Zach, Billy and Trini, all with their Zords and ready to fight. Jason says that the mission is to buy time for Kimberly and Tommy to complete the other mission. Golder, Babu, and Scorpina want to join the fight, and in the meantime Rita goes to find Squat so he can enjoy the whole battle. Tommy and Kimberly's mission was to bring an artifact that was going to explode with a shockwave full of purified energy directly from the Morphin grid to counteract all the dark energy nearby. This means that all those monsters are going to be incapacitated along with Rita and Lord Zedd. Basically they would no longer be monsters. Billy tells Tommy and Kimberly to put that artifact in the place that has the most dark energy, and then they must activate the remote detonator. This way the Rangers will be able to teleport to Earth, and from there they can detonate the device without any risk. Tommy and Kimberly arrive at Rita and Lord Zedd's bedroom as they think that this is the place that contains the most dark energy. Unfortunately, before they activate the artifact, Rita arrives to interrupt their plans, and this is the beginning of the end. Rita tells her soldiers to take care of Kimberly as she is going to take care of destroying Tommy, and this must be because she wants revenge. Outside the palace the Rangers are still in the battle to try to distract everyone and give Tommy and Kimberly more time. Because there are so many powerful monsters and at the same time there are so many soldiers, the Rangers are having a lot of trouble being able to keep fighting. Lord Zedd says that this will be the last battle and Rita is missing all the fun, so he asks Finster to go get her. Inside the palace Rita begins to fight with Tommy, and she says she can't believe he has the courage to kill her. The Rangers explain to her that this artifact is not to kill her, but to purify her and make her a good person. This is basically the same thing that happened in the TV series. In the destruction of Zordon, Rita was purified and turned into a good person with all the purified energy. Rita manages to attack Tommy and he falls on the artifact. At this moment, Rita has the advantage. she has Tommy defenseless and keeps attacking him with all her energy. She says there is no more command center, no more Zordon, and soon there will be no more Power Rangers. Before Rita could finish speaking, she gets an arrow in the back that also goes through her chest. Kimberly killed her to save Tommy, even though that wasn't the main plan. Even though Kimberly saved Tommy, she can't believe what she did, and Tommy tries to tell her that this was the only way. Squat manages to see that Rita was dead, so he quickly goes to inform Lord Zedd. At that same instant, the Rangers realized that they had damaged the artifact screen and couldn't activate the remote detonator. The other Rangers are having a lot of trouble and can't hold out any longer. Billy tells Tommy that now the only option is for them to press the blue button, and this will start a 10-second countdown so they have enough time to teleport. Tommy has decided that he is the one who is going to detonate the bomb, but Kimberly doesn't want to leave him, and he tells her that everything is going to be okay since no one is going to die. Billy says that, according to his calculations, because there are so many monsters in that place, the dark energy is very large, so the explosion is also going to be very large and could be the size of the city of Angel Grove. Jason says that this bomb is the only hope since they are not going to be able to defeat the monsters with the Zords, so they must detonate it. Tommy asks Kimberly to leave before he detonates the bomb since no one knows what will happen, and then they kiss goodbye. The monsters begin to destroy the Zords. They are celebrating the victory, and the Rangers decide to teleport back to Earth. Billy tells Tommy to remember that he has 10 seconds to teleport and then wishes him good luck. Lord Zedd starts to celebrate the victory, but at that moment, Squad arrives to give him the bad news that Rita was dead. While all the monsters celebrate the victory, the bomb is detonated. The Rangers manage to teleport to the command center, a command center that was pretty much destroyed, including Zordon's tube. Unfortunately, we can only see Kimberly and the other Rangers, but Tommy didn't show up. Everyone starts celebrating the victory, but Kimberly chokes with her crying because she knows that Tommy has passed away to save everyone. After a few seconds, the other Rangers begin to realize that Tommy had not returned with them, and this is how the Power Rangers managed to defeat Rita and Lord Zedd 22 years ago. In the present, we can see that Kimberly was telling this story to Trini's niece and told her that Tommy was her husband and died to save the world. Kimberly doesn't know what happened in those last seconds before the explosion, but she feels that if she had stayed she could have saved him. Trini's niece wants to know what happened to the Power Rangers after that, and Kimberly replies that they started being Rangers when they were 15 years old. After that the world was already saved, so the world didn't need the Power Rangers anymore, and they just decided to move on with their lives. Selena says that it's one thing to move on with life and quite another to move to Canada, change her name and live alone. Kimberly replies that she needed a fresh start. Not only was she running away from the Power Rangers, she was also running away from Kimberly Hart. She then also tells her that Trini wouldn't have wanted her niece to be the next Power Ranger, and she would have wanted her to keep the Morpher so that no one else would become a Power Ranger. Because those Morphers can be dangerous in the wrong hands, Kimberly has a secret place to hide them, and in that same place she also has the Pink Ranger Morpher. Selena takes the Morpher from Kimberly and asks her how it felt to have killed Rita. Did you enjoy it? Kimberly is very uncomfortable with these questions, but Selena continues to insist that she must have felt some relief at Rita's death. Kimberly replies that they weren't there to kill anyone, that was just a glitch. Selena is acting very strange and asks Kimberly if she thinks there will ever be someone like Rita or Lord Zedd again. Kimberly replies no, but Selena isn't so sure about that. At that moment Selena transforms and we can see that she is wearing clothes very similar to Rita's, plus she also has the scepter. Apparently this has been the villain who has been collecting the power coins, and now she already has Kimberly's in her hands. The two begin to fight, but we can see that this new villain is quite strong and realizes that someone had come to the house. She doesn't know who the person who arrived is, but Kimberly takes advantage of the oversight to take the morpher. Now she tries to start with the transformation, but the villain hits her very hard with her scepter and manages to take the morpher from her. Outside the house we can see that someone gets out of the car, then starts to enter the house and all the lights are off. This person is Kimberly's daughter. Now we arrive at the moon where we can see the destruction that the Power Rangers had caused 22 years ago, and previously, we had not been able to see it so close, but now we see all the pieces of the moon floating. Then we can see the reconstruction of the Bandora Palace, which was also pretty much destroyed when the explosion happened, and we notice that Rita's soldiers are the ones doing the reconstruction. Inside the palace, Kimberly was still passed out due to the heavy blow she had been given by the new villain who was wearing clothes similar to Rita's. Jason appears again, and next to him are also Zach and Billy. Basically, the entire Mighty Morphin team were locked up in this place, as we must remember that Trini already passed away and Tommy apparently also perished in the explosion because he never came back to Earth. Kimberly is a little dazed and doesn't know where she is, but the new villain tells her that this is the place where Kimberly killed her family. Selena Repulsa is the name of this villain, daughter of Rita and Lord Zedd, and now she wants revenge on the Power Rangers. Kimberly tries to beat Selena, but the Rangers are locked in a very powerful energy shield, and it is impossible to escape from there. The Rangers want to know how Selena found them, but she says it was very easy to track down the power coins, especially when 3 Rangers were using them. Finding Zach was very easy since he always writes on his social media everything they do in his life, and Trini tried to keep it in the bank vault. The last coin was Kimberly's, and she was hiding all this time, but she came out of hiding the day they commemorated Trini's life. That day Selena followed Kimberly all the way home, and now this evil villain wants to keep the promise the Rangers made 22 years ago, no more Power Rangers. Then Selena says something surprising and confesses that she is not the one who will destroy the Rangers, her mother Rita will. Kimberly can't believe it and wants to know if Rita is still alive, but Selena understands how surprised Kimberly is since she knows that she was the one who stuck the arrow in her mother. Selena begins to explain that Rita was more resilient than the Rangers thought because, just before the bomb exploded, Rita used her magic to enter the Morphin grid. As Billy explains, this bomb was not a weapon of destruction, rather it was to clean all the evil with energy from the Morphin grid, but Selena tells him that he is an idiot because that bomb killed everyone except Rita. Since that day Rita has been trapped in the grid, and now Selena is going to bring her back. Surprisingly, Selena is going to receive help from Finster, who managed to survive the explosion, although he was quite injured and had to repair his body himself. Finster had hidden in the vault which had reinforced walls, and this helped him to survive. He then had to feed on the remains of the bodies of the monsters that were left after the destruction, and after several years Selena found him on the moon. Now Finster has built a machine using pieces of his old creations and combining it with the powers of Lord Zedd's staff. Selena explains that this machine works with the power of all the power coins, and since she has them all, then she can bring her mother back. Jason looks very angry and says that even if he brings Rita back, they are going to defeat her. Kimberly looks very calm and wants to know how Selena survived the explosion since she was a child. Selena says that Rita saved her as she used what little strength she had left to send her to Earth with her magic, but as Selena tells this story, we get to see what actually happened that day. After Kimberly teleported to Earth and Tommy was about to activate the bomb, he heard a voice say, "Mom." This voice came from a little girl trying to wake Rita up, and obviously we now know that little girl was Selena. At that moment, Finster arrives and is terrified after seeing Rita on the floor, so he quickly calls the soldiers. Finster orders the soldiers to attack Tommy, but the Green Ranger holds the girl while trying to tell Finster that he can save the girl. Despite this, Tommy is hit hard and falls on the bomb, which is then activated. Remember that, by activating the bomb manually, it only gave Tommy 10 seconds to escape, and now Finster realizes this. As the seconds tick by, the soldiers continue to attack Tommy and he continues to try to escape to save Selena. Because all the soldiers were holding Tommy down, in a desperate attempt he takes off his communicator and puts it on the girl. With only 5 seconds left for the bomb to explode, Tommy manages to activate the communicator and teleports the girl to Earth. Tommy had managed to save Selena, but after this, with a trembling voice, Rita begins to call Tommy. All the soldiers stop attacking Tommy and he cannot believe that Rita is still alive. At that moment, Rita raises her hand and starts to use her magic, but the bomb explodes without letting us see what really happened at that precise moment. On Earth, Bulk and Skull are policemen and both were patrolling the park, but they feel quite bored as the Power Rangers had scared off all the criminals. Then they managed to hear something, and it was Selena who had teleported to that very spot. Selena thinks Bulk is squat, so she just wants Bulk to hold her, and both cops don't understand how the girl got to that place, but then we get to see Tommy's communicator. In the present, Selena still thinks it was Rita who saved her by sending her to Earth, so she now wants to save her mother and bring her back so she can conquer the helpless Earth without the Power Rangers. Something we should note is that Kimberly is very calm, and after this Finster tells Selena that the machine is ready. Now Selena must enter the machine, as this whole process needs some relative of the person locked in the grid to be there to attract the essence of the other person. Finster starts the process, all the energy from the power coin starts to come out, and Selena tries to call her mother. The Rangers feel they can't just stand there and do nothing, so they want to find a way to stop the process, and Kimberly tells them they need to be calm because everything is going to be okay. The energy is all over the place and Selena starts to say that she is sensing her mother. Suddenly, the machine stops working and Finster says that for the process to work nothing must access the grid, so someone must be connected. Selena doesn't understand what is going on since she managed to get the 5 power coins, but Kimberly clarifies that it is 6 power coins. Selena says that Tommy's coin was destroyed in the explosion, but Kimberly tells her that Tommy was not transformed when the bomb went off. 22 years ago, when Kimberly and Tommy were saying goodbye, they were both transformed, and Tommy decided to give his power coin to Kimberly in case something happened to him that day. Kimberly couldn't believe what Tommy was doing, but he told her he could teleport to Earth with the communicator, the same one we had previously seen him give to Selena to save her. After Kimberly left, Tommy said that if anything happened to her then she would know who she was going to give the power coin to when they were ready. Kimberly clarifies to Selena that Tommy was not transformed because he had given the power coin to her, and Finster warns her that the 6th power coin has been activated. Selena angrily grabs Kimberly by the hair and pulls her out of the shield and onto the ground. At that moment, Finster warns Selena that the 6th power coin is coming towards the moon, and Kimberly tells Selena that she wants her to meet Olivia Hart. Kimberly's daughter arrives transformed into the Green Ranger with the power coin that Tommy had given her and that he already knew Kimberly could give it to Olivia. This episode begins by showing us Olivia looking for the green power morpher, and after searching for a while, she manages to find it. Something important to mention is that it seems that she had never used this morpher before, since she doesn't even remember how to make the transformation and the words to use. After she manages to transform, she quickly teleports, but we don't know if the same power takes her to the place she needs to go or if she already knew where she had to go. Upon arriving at the moon, we can quickly realize that this was Olivia's first time teleporting, as she felt like throwing up. Billy, Jason, and Zach didn't know what was going on. They didn't know who this person was that was using the Green Ranger power until Kimberly said her name and Olivia said Mom to Kimberly. Everyone was very surprised as no one expected Kimberly to have a daughter, including Selena, and now it's time for battle, but Olivia doesn't know what she has to do. Quickly Selena starts attacking Olivia, who fights back with the Dagon dagger and then drops her on the ground. Billy tells Kimberly to take this opportunity and use the dagger to break the energy shield, as he thinks the dagger has enough power to free them. As Olivia begins to fight Selena, the Ranger's conversation confirms to us that indeed Olivia is Tommy's daughter and Kimberly's plan was to keep it a secret for a lifetime. It is very likely that Olivia carries Kimberly's last name simply because Tommy was not around at the time when the child was born, so Kimberly had to register Olivia with the last name Hart. The battle continues, and now the Rangers must fight the patrollers, who seem to have some modifications. While the Rangers are kicking ass at the patrollers, Kimberly goes to help Olivia as Selena is very powerful and the new Green Ranger is in danger. Selena is able to quickly recognize that even though Olivia has the Green Ranger powers, she doesn't have the skills to be able to defeat her, and Kimberly responds by telling her that Olivia has the genes. Despite this, Selena is very powerful and defeats them both easily. She then thanks Olivia for bringing the Green Ranger morpher, as it was the only one missing for her to be able to bring Rita Repulsa back. Selena tells Finster that it is time to activate the machine, and now with the 6 power coins, Selena will be able to bring her mother back. Billy, Jason, and Zach manage to stop the putties, but it's too late as Selena managed to turn on the machine and will now bring Rita back. As Kimberly said earlier, Olivia has the genes, and this drives her to stop Selena by getting her out of the machine, but she gets trapped in there. This machine is only supposed to work when a person who has the same blood as the other person trapped in the Morphin grid enters, which is why it's strange that the machine didn't stop when Olivia was trapped. Suddenly, the machine ends the whole process and Olivia doesn't know what has happened, but everyone else is shocked at what they are seeing. No one can believe what has happened, and at that moment, Olivia realizes that her father has returned. Tommy Oliver is back, and his appearance hasn't changed since the day the moon exploded. Kimberly can't believe her husband is back, and the other Rangers hug him tightly, but Tommy doesn't understand how everyone is so old. Finally, Tommy and Kimberly hug and she tells him that there are many things he needs to tell her, while Olivia looks very shyly at her father. Selena is very angry because that was the last chance she had to bring her mother back, and it shouldn't have been Tommy coming back. Because of this, Selena has the Yellow Ranger morpher, and now she wants to use it to destroy the Rangers. Tommy still doesn't know who this witch is, but very soon he is going to find out. For the first time we get to see the new evil Yellow Ranger, who uses the combined power of the Yellow Ranger, Rita Repulsa, and Lord Zedd. Selena tells Tommy that she is going to finish what Rita started and then attacks him and Kimberly. The other Rangers quickly run to save them as they don't want to lose Tommy again, but there is something very powerful that is going to stop them. Now Finster's voice begins to be heard saying that for a long time he has had to stand by and watch his creations being destroyed, but he has had enough of watching, and now we see him turned into a big monster. Olivia manages to save her mother, and they both fall very close to the machine where all the morphers were. Olivia again uses the Green Ranger morpher, and Kimberly uses her morpher again after more than 20 years without transforming. Selena goes to attack Tommy because she thinks he is the one who took everything from her, and at that moment Kimberly manages to stop her. The Pink Ranger defends her husband and is willing to do anything to protect him. The Rangers are excited because the Pink Ranger is back, but now they have the problem of having to stop Finster, who says that a simple Ranger won't be able to stop him. At that moment Olivia sticks her dagger in his back and manages to defeat Finster very easily, but brought a surprise to the Rangers. After so long the Mighty Morphin team is reunited again, and we also get to see Jason's spectacular costume. The Rangers are very angry because Selena is using Trini's suit and now they want to take it away from her. In the middle of the battle there is an explosion and Olivia falls to the ground in front of Tommy, who is very worried about her. Olivia acknowledges that she doesn't have the training to be a ranger yet and hands the morpher to Tommy after confessing to him that she has only been a ranger for 10 minutes. It was also the first time Tommy heard Olivia call him daddy, and he still doesn't understand how this happened, as he feels she only left for a short time. Now, in the most epic scene of this entire saga, Tommy Oliver becomes the Green Ranger again to help his friends. The original Mighty Morphin team is back, and even though they are missing the Yellow Ranger, it's amazing to see them all reunite once again after 22 years of being separated. Selena starts attacking them all, and her goal is to get revenge by destroying Tommy for taking away her chance to bring Rita back. Kimberly stands in front of Tommy to protect him and says she is ready to kill Selena, but Olivia yells at her that she must listen to what she is saying. Kimberly thinks she should kill Selena to put an end to this, but Tommy stops her and says that they shouldn't kill anyone. At that point Tommy realizes that Selena is Rita and Lord Zedd's daughter, so he quickly starts talking to her. Tommy tells Selena that Rita is the reason he is alive since she took him to the Morphin Grid along with her. Selena thinks that's impossible since Rita hated him so much, but Tommy explains that Rita did that because he saved her. He then explains to her that he used his communicator to teleport her off the moon because she was an innocent girl, and now he's not going to fight her after saving her that day. Selena doesn't want to believe what Tommy is saying, so she teleports off the moon, and now Tommy wants to know everything that has happened all this time. Already being on Earth, Tommy starts looking at the photos to remember Trini, and now that he knows the whole truth, he can't believe she is gone. Another important thing to note on this page is that we can see the original Super Sentai Ranger team in their uniform with the flag of Japan. Now Kimberly says that the world needs the Power Rangers, and that maybe the Power Rangers don't need her, maybe not necessarily in front of the battle. After this, she hands her morpher to Olivia and tells her that she looks better in pink, so now we have a new Pink Ranger. Kimberly asks Tommy to train Olivia, and the other Rangers say that even though they can't be full-time Rangers, they're always going to be available when they're needed. Jason confesses that Zordon is long gone, and they have forgotten a lot of the things he taught them, but because Tommy still remembers all that, he wants Tommy to be the new team leader. Olivia is very excited because the Power Rangers are back, and now all they need is a command center. Ironically, Selena had teleported to the old Ranger command center and was very sad that she had failed her mother. At that moment a voice is heard asking Selena who she is and where Zordon is. This voice comes from a woman dressed in the White Ranger costume, and with this we don't know if this story will continue.